What's going on, everybody? This is your girl K Rich, and I'm coming at you from a PK perspective. There's a lot of different passages, and I want to go over just one passage of Psalms where I think everybody knows that the Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. And I think that not enough of us take the time to actually go and look up what a good shepherd does, how a shepherd manages, protects, regulates, and watches over his sheep. There's a few particular things that they do, and some of it's in the passage. A few things that they do. One that I thought was amazing is like the sheep can get these worms or flies, larvae, embedded in their heads. They'll get in their brains or whatever, in their heads, and the sheep will like bash their heads on rocks and stuff because of it. So the shepherd will take oil and pour it over that, and it like suffocates these larvae and they come out. So he's delivering that sheep from that torment. Another thing, because we see that as we often see that as like a mercy, as a grace, as a taking care of, as a being mindful of the sheep. And there's another thing that they do when there is a sheep that is not doing right, not obeying, wandering off constantly, just you're an issue. You're just not, being a part of the fold, right? Being a part of the flock the proper way, and it causes there to be issue in the flock. And what that shepherd will do is they'll break one of their legs, and what that does is it makes them dependent on the shepherd. Now they don't just break it and leave him out there and leave him for the wolves. They put this little sheep. Most of the time they're young sheep, and they'll put them over their shoulders, mend the leg, but the sheep will learn how to be a part of the flock better when it's been put in that broken process, right? And we may not physically have, Yeshua down here breaking people's legs. I find it so painfully caring, right? Because we'll think of the pouring of the oil on the head because it's gentle, it's nice, and we'll think of that as the grace and the love, but not the breaking of the legs, because that causes us pain, that causes it's the recovery time. It doesn't seem gentle. Who wants to break something's leg, and how does that factor in? Well, for me, I feel like the past month, in the gentlest way, without just taking me out, right? Without just taking you down, God has broken my heart. We can become attached to things and people, and we're just not doing what we're supposed to be. You're not being that sheep. You're not moving with, the shepherd. You're not as, I don't want to say dedicated, but you're just not as connected because you've got whatever distraction or whatever thing in your face or in your way, in your mind. It could be something you just want. And I just want that. And I'm going to do whatever, not pay attention to this good shepherd who has been taking care of me and doing all these wonderful things for me because I want that one thing. And when it's people, it's tough. When it's relatives or just anybody that you love, it's tough. It doesn't feel good for God to, and when I say break your heart, like people, he allows people to let you down, to hurt you, he allows what you think is better or good to be what it is. And we know that there's no good thing, on earth except God. But we'll think something is so good and so great. And he has to allow you to see that thing for what it really is and let it break your heart. And in the midst of you getting this broken heart, he's still there. He's still Abba. He's still Daddy. He's still the shepherd. It's just in his wisdom, in his great, great judgment, in his love, he has to allow those things to be broken. He has to allow you to be broken in that way. And it sucks, man. It can suck because you think or you have high expectations. And a lot of times we get into it. We get into connections with people and things, and it starts off good. It starts off, I don't want to say pure, but genuine. And we let that thing become a problem. We allow that good thing to become perverted. And I know when I use the P word, dear Jesus, when you use the P word, people automatically go to sex. But if I take a hammer and the original intent is to drive nails and to pull nails out, and I use the hammer that its intent is to drive nails and to pull nails out, and I use it to kill somebody, I have perverted the hammer. It's not sexual. It's something being done outside of its original or its design, its designation. It is supposed to be doing this, but I am using it to do something else. I digress. But it can become perverted. It can become an idol. It can become, just something wedged in the way because we've given it too much power. We've given it too much access. And God has to break that away from us, off of us. He breaks, and in turn, those things can break your heart. And they do. People disappointing you can break your heart. People treating you bad can break your heart. Situations that you just knew were on, and it doesn't go that way, it can break your heart. And as weird as it is, I'm thankful for the broken heart that I have right now. I'm thankful for the grace and the love and the mercy that this good shepherd, that my good father, is showing me by allowing me to have a broken heart. Because he could let me just stay on in that thing, fall away, where there is no grace, where there are no hands to catch, where there's no, it could become such a worse situation by just not breaking my heart, by allowing it to consume and do all that it does. But in his wisdom, mercy, grace, and love, he breaks us. He breaks our legs. He breaks our hearts so that we can be mended properly, so that we can come back the right way. So I just had to say that because we want to be mad when we are disappointed. We want to be frustrated when we're disappointed. We want to lash out and have outbursts. And when your heart is broken, that doesn't seem good. But I'm thankful. I am extremely, extremely thankful for this broken heart that God has allowed me to have. Nothing else to say. So, I want y'all to do what I want y'all to do. Every time I'm on here, I'm sorry it's dark. It's like dark 30, 5 a.m. But I want y'all to do what I want y'all to do every time I get on here. And that is go be